In this session, we are going to talk about tuples in Python. Tuples are used to store multiple items in a single variable. Like list, tuples store an ordered collection of elements, meaning the order of the element will always remain the same. However, unlike list, tuples are unchangeable, meaning you can't modify the items in tuple once they are stored. This makes tuple an ideal choice when you want to store data that should remain constant throughout the program. Tuples are useful for storing constant values such as coordinate xy, RGB color values, file paths, database records, and much more. Now let's understand how to create a tuple. To create a tuple, we simply use parentheses, and within these parentheses we can store multiple items separated by comma. For example, we want to create a variable named myTuple, and after the assignment operator, we use parentheses to store the items. Here we are going to store Python, C, C++, and Java. This is how we create a tuple. When we print myTuple, we can see the output is our tuple include Python, C, C++, and Java. Within a tuple, we can also store items of multiple data types. For example, we can create another tuple named as tuple A and store items like Python, Java, as well as numbers like 1, 2, and 3. When we print tuple A, we can see the output contains both string and integer data type. Like list, tuples are also ordered, meaning the items have a defined order that cannot be changed. Tuple also allow duplicate items, which means you can store the same items multiple times. For instance, we can create a variable named tuple B, and within the parentheses, we store items like Python, C, C++, Python, and Java. Here Python is duplicated. When we print tuple B, we can see the output is our tuple with duplicated values of Python. Next, let's explore how to access items from a tuple. We create a new tuple named tuple C, containing the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. To access an item, we use its index, which starts from 0. For example, tuple C square bracket 1 will give us the second item because the first item is at index 0 and the second item, which is 2, is at index 1. When we run the code, we see the output is 2. Similarly, tuple C square bracket -1 will give us the last item because we are using negative indexing, which starts from the end. So -1 means the last item. When we run the code, we see the output, which is the 5. We can also access a range of items using slicing. For example, tuple C square bracket 1:5 gives us a subtuple containing items from index 1 to 4. The index on the left of the colon is the starting point and the index on the right of the colon is the ending point. This means we are accessing items from range 1 to 5 and the output contain items at index 1 to 4. When we run the code, we can see the output is 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now let's use the negative indexing in the range. Tuple C square bracket 2:-1 gives us items from index 2 to second last item. When we run the code, we can see the output is from index 2 to index -1 or the second last item. Now let's discuss the immutability of a tuples. Since tuples are unchangeable, you cannot modify the items once they are created. If you try to change an item in a tuple, Python will raise a type error. For example, if we create a tuple named tuple C and store the items like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then try to change the second item in tuple C to 3, Python will raise an error. When we run the code, we see the error is type error, tuple object do not support an item assignment. This error occurs because tuple do not support item assignment. Once tuple is created, you cannot change its items, making tuple a great choice for storing constant data. However, if you need to change the items in a tuple, there is a workaround. You can convert the tuple to a list, change the items in the list, and then convert the list back to a tuple. Let's see how this works with an example. First, we create a tuple named tuple D with the values like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we convert this tuple to a list by creating a variable named the list A and using the list function to assign the tuple to it. Now our tuple is a list and lists are changeable, meaning we can now change the items. For example, if we want to change the second item to 8, we call the list A with index 1 and assign the value 8 to it. So at index 1 instead of 2, we store 8. Now let's convert the list back to a tuple by creating a variable named tuple D, the same name as our original tuple, and using the tuple function to convert the list back to a tuple. Finally, we print tuple D, and you can see the output is our tuple with the value 8 at index 1. By converting the tuple to a list, we can change the items. After making the changes, we convert the list back to a tuple. This method allows you to modify the item in a tuple, even though tuples themselves are immutable. Tuples in Python do not have many built-in methods as lists do have, but they do have two useful methods, count and index. The count method is used to count the number of times a specific item appears in the tuple. For example, if we want to count the number of times the number 3 appears in the tuple, so we call tuple D, use the count method, and pass 3 as the argument. When we run the code, the output shows 1 because 3 appears one time in tuple D. The index method is used to find the first occurrence of a specified item in the tuple. For example, if we want to find the index of number 3 in tuple D, we call tuple D, use the index method, and pass 3 as the argument. When we run the code, the output shows 2 because the item 3 is located at index 2. Although tuples in Python do not have as many built-in functions as lists do have, we can access other functionalities by converting the tuple to a list. Let's explore some of the examples. First, let's create a new tuple named tuple D and store the items like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The append method is used to add in items to the end of the list. If we want to use the append function with our tuple and add the number 7 to tuple D, we first convert tuple D to a list using the list method. Create a new variable named tuple A and then convert the tuple to a list using the list function. And then we use the append method to add 7 to the list like here I am doing. After appending the item, we convert the list back to a tuple using the tuple function. When we run the code, the output is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. The insert method is used to insert an items at any specified index. If we want to use the insert method with our tuple and insert the 5 at the index 2 in tuple D, we first convert tuple D to a list like here I am doing. Use the insert method to add the number 5 at the index 2 and then convert the list back to a tuple. When we run the code, the output is 1, 2, 5, 3, 4, 5, 7. The remove method is used to remove the first occurrence of a specified item. If we want to remove the number 5 from tuple D, we first convert tuple D to a list like here I am doing. Use the remove method to remove the number 5 and then convert the list back to a tuple. When we run the code, the output is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. Like here you can see the number 5 is removed. Tuples in Python also support a technique called unpacking, where you can assign the values from a tuple to a sequence of variables in one go. First, let's consider a tuple F, which contains 3 items: apple, potato, and water. We want to assign these values to variables like fruit, vegetable, and drink respectively. To do this, we use the tuple unpacking. We create 3 variables named fruit, vegetable, drink. After the assignment operator, we simply call tuple f. So the values from tuple f are unpacked into the variables like fruit, vegetable, and drink. When we use the syntax fruit, vegetable, drink is equal to tuple f, Python unpack the tuple from left to right. Like apple is assigned to fruit, potato is assigned to vegetable, water is assigned to drink. When we print fruit, vegetable, and drink, we get apple, potato, and water as the output. And you can notice that apple is assigned to fruit, potato is assigned to vegetable, and water is assigned to drink. Next, let's consider tuple G with more items like apple, potato, water, milk, and soda. We can use the asterisk to unpack multiple items into a list. For example, we want to assign first value to fruit, the second value to vegetable, and the remaining values to drink. We use the asterisk sign with drink. So the asterisk sign means that the remaining values will be stored in drink. We create three variables named fruit, vegetable, drink. But here we use the asterisk sign with drink. After the assignment operator, we simply call tuple G. This means apple is assigned to fruit, potato is assigned to vegetable, water, milk, and soda are assigned to drink. When we print fruit, vegetable, and drink, you can see drink contain water, milk, and soda. Finally, let's use a different unpacking pattern with tuple G, where the first value goes to fruit, the last value goes to vegetable, and the middle values goes to drink. For this, we edit tuple G to include apple, water, milk, soda, and potato. We create three variables named fruit, drink, vegetable. But here we use the asterisk sign with drink, and drink is also located in the middle. After assignment operator, we simply call tuple G. So this means apple is assigned to fruit. The middle values, water, milk, and soda are packed into the list drink. Potato is assigned to vegetable. When we print fruit, drink, and vegetable, we see that the middle values are stored in drink. So we can say that Python follows the sequence of variables provided in unpacking statement from left to right. The asterisk allows for collection of multiple items into a list, giving us flexibility in how we distribute the items from the tuple to the variables. So that's it for today's video. If you have any question, you can ask in the comment box. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you keep receiving programming tutorials.